Monessen City Council meeting on November 10th, 2020 to order. Roll call, please.
Councilman Grieger. Here. Councilor Wojciechowski. Here. Councilman Coles. Here. Councilwoman Thomas.
Here.
Mayor Sherrill.
Here. Please rise for the pledge of the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Did you all have a chance to look at the minutes? I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 13th, 2020 meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any questions, corrections? Call the roll.
Councilor Wojciechowski.
Yes.
Councilman Coles.
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas.
Yes.
Councilman Grieger.
Aye.
Mayor Sherrill.
Yes. We have a, oh, sorry, skip that. I'd like to open the floor for public comment on agenda items.
Ron Moser, 25 Colonial Drive, Monessen. Maybe you could just take a couple real quick seconds just to explain what some of these articles of agreement are between the city and the engineer and the B, C.
Tim, do you want to touch on that? I know we explained it last week a little bit.
Yeah, so for the funding sources for these projects, there's two projects, well, multiple projects actually, that the city's doing. And these are basically just the agreement with the engineer to provide the engineering services in connection with those projects. These agreements then have to be submitted to the funding sources in order to release and receive funds for those. So they're in engineering services agreements, essentially.
Okay, what areas do the agreements actually cover?
The one agreement, I can tell you, one is the sewer rehabilitation project phase 4, 9th Street, Delaware Avenue in Shawnee Park.
Okay.
And then the other one is the 2020 CDBG roadway rehabilitation project phase 1, and that's the reconstruction of Euclid Drive from Grand Boulevard to Crest Avenue. Those are those two projects.
Okay. I notice there's several properties that you're exonerating the taxes for, and I assume that those are because there's some activity going on. But L and M, you have some property that's being transferred to the redevelopment authority, supposedly for given customers, prospective customers. I guess the point being is, first off, I can't speak for the redevelopment authority in whole, but I will say that the redevelopment authority does have a requirement that people that get property from the redevelopment authority do come to our meetings and present a plan for what they're going to do with a time schedule and so forth. So you can transfer it to us, but we're not going to give it to anybody until which time that they've done that. That's just part of what we require as the redevelopment authority.
Could you, just because I always forget, could you remind us when you meet so that we can tell?
Third Tuesday of each month at 6 p.m. 216 3rd Street.
6, you said?
The
PM. Third Tuesday at 6 p.m.?
Yes. Just a real quick question, because it is part of what's being talked about. When is the, I know there's about a $400,000 or $500,000 payment that the city makes every year for grants that were made previously. When are those actually due?
The end of the year, I believe, John. For debt service. You're talking about debt service?
Mm-hmm.
For debt service?
December 31st. Every year. That's the principal debt.
And there was an interest payment made in June, right?
June is the interest for the year. Those are set by the bank.
What do you attribute the tremendous increase to, just out of curiosity?
Which increase?
All across the board. The general fund, the debt service.
Fiscal responsibility.
Better
That's
management.
buzzwords. I mean, what specific?
Buzzwords?
Yeah, specifically, what?
Financing, managing your finances in a fiscal responsible manner is a buzzword. Perhaps we have a city administrator who knows what they're doing.
Perhaps,
And
you
I
should
will-
explain what they're doing. I know they're just using those kinds of words.
Well, I will say that two, and I don't have the figures, well, I have one of the figures in front of me, but I know that engineering fees are down. I don't know the amount off the top of my head, and solicitor fees are down significantly. But also, yeah, better management.
Well, as an example, when were you elected to the office of mayor?
2018.
Okay? And Paul, when were you elected?
You know, same time.
Okay?
What's your
And
point?
The point being is that you kicked the can down the road on paying off the debt from 2019. Now, you say that may be fiscal responsibility. I call that fiscal irresponsibility. You have to pay the debt.
What do you mean? Take what down the road?
The
For the
debt.
2019
The
debt.
2019 debt. You were the only person here that wasn't here last year.
But I was here.
You were.
I attended the meeting. I
You attended the
wasn't
meeting
on
just like I did, but you got no say-so in the way that money was spent. The point being is, historically, every year that I've been here for the last 11 years, there's been a TAN note taken out at the end of the year, which didn't get approved this year, but that was specifically for the purpose of paying off last year's debt.
Well, the 10 note is also to carry us over until taxes come in March.
Well, exactly.
But the
Because you have
question
debt due
is-
that you have to pay.
Why can't we get a TAN note?
Well, that's pretty obvious. We don't have any assets to speak of. But that's
We
what
gave
you
them away. We gave them away.
gave them away or whatever. I don't really know the answer to all those questions. But what I do know is that according to the newsletter, for the next 3 years, we're going to be paying for a debt in 2019 for the first time ever. That's been carried over.
Absolutely.
Why isn't that being paid off?
Because you don't want to ruin your credit with your current vendors, so they shut you off, just like last year.
Well, you got money to
The
do that.
vendors shut us off totally. You can't do that. If you have a debt, you'll have to work it down. And when you work it down, this is how you do it.
And some of those have been paid down, have they not?
Some have been paid, but we still have to work. It's going to take another couple of years to get us down.
Well, we could bankrupt the city,
Yeah, I mean,
Right now.
we could pay everything and bankrupt the city.
and I'm sure that would play into certain individuals' hands.
No, but what
Let me
I'm saying
finish.
is
You
that
asked
we
the
need to pay our
question,
debt.
let me finish. I was commenting on your comment. We could be irresponsible and pay everything off as the notes. I mean, that would be irresponsible to the citizens of the city for the simple matter. We would be able to provide them with police protection. We have the winter time coming up, provide snow removal. The fire departments may not be able to respond because we don't have insurances. You have to run this like it's a business.
But it's
And I understand that you're a businessman,
Mhm.
so you should know about having the money to pay your bills not only right now, but down the road. You have to budget, and that's what we're doing, we're budgeting the funds. And, yeah, we could pay everything off that was run up last year and wasn't paid. There were $657,000 that weren't paid. At the end of the year last year, though, 12/26/2019, I listened to the acting mayor, the deputy mayor, tell everyone how the ship was righted. And we were okay. Well, we weren't okay. By that omission, he didn't tell everyone that, well, hey, guys, we got $657,000 worth of bills unpaid. We discovered that when we came in, when we cleaned out that mess of an office. That administration was so irresponsible to let that accumulate like that. That poor woman didn't have the opportunity to do her job. There was hundreds of thousands of dollars that we weren't going to get because she didn't do the paperwork on it. That paperwork was done this year. Now, I don't want his head to swell.
Well, that's what I was asking.
But
Where did
he-
this money come from? Did it come from grants?
No, it came from the state. There was money that came from the state. There was money that came in from the roads that were being pulled out.
One
Opening
being-
fees that
In
we
the
had
form
to
of
pull out.
grants, in the form of,
One
There
being-
was no grants.
One being liquid fuels,
Liquid fuels
okay,
is
did
not a
that come
grant.
along every year?
if you do the paperwork.
If you do the paperwork. If you don't do the paperwork and account for it, you don't get it. And you have to spend it properly,
So how,
or you gotta pay it back.
so just like me, I think you've been paying attention to city council for many years.
I have.
Have you ever seen a city council ever carry over debt like this for 3 years?
I don't think a city council's ever been left like this.
I think it's happened every time.
No. And 6 years ago,
No,
6
sir.
years ago, when the Mavrakis administration was brought into office, they had $300,000 in their general account. At the end of 2019, there was $657,000 worth of unpaid bills. That's over a $900,000 swing in 6 years. The last two administrations have been fiscally irresponsible. It may offend people when I tell them that, but the numbers are the numbers. We have to,
The last two terms where you were not involved.
the last two
administration
administrations.
hasn't changed.
Yeah, but it has. When the votes, an administration is when there's individuals that are in charge. Say like last year, you had an administration headed by Councilman Wojciechowski, Dave Feenan, and Lois Thomas.
No,
But
by
I
the
have a
mayor.
question that,
By the
I
mayor.
think that
No.
needs correction.
No, it's a correction.
They are still,
They are still there.
they were
No.
always in the
I'm
administration.
talking about the votes.
Yeah, but my thing is this,
There was 3 votes,
you
there's
guys
3 votes.
divide up administration,
Lois-
you can't do that.
Lois, I'm not.
Matt, when were
Lois,
you, when were
Lois,
you?
2018,
Whoa.
Thank you.
and
Doesn't
I,
matter.
2018.
It would have been, if they had sat here, it would have been 3-2, and he'd have still been running the show.
and
And not
every,
necessarily.
every
Yes,
concern,
necessarily.
every
Well,
concern
it's
that
not
I
worth arguing,
raised
but
was
an administration is when who is elected in 2018.
And it was his administration.
Thank you,
Yes.
that's
He-
all plain
No,
and
no,
clear.
it was Tony's. He ran things
It was
for 2
Matt,
years.
Matt was mayor.
No,
And
Matt's
Matt-
been running things now.
Matt
Matt was mayor, whether he was here or not.
Matt told you about his concerns when you came in
But
and
you
you
didn't-
brushed them off.
No, you never met with me, Matt.
I have an email.
You never, I
sent it
have
to
2
you.
emails, you
Yes.
never met with me.
That you are
You
correct.
played, you
It's
blew me,
immaterial.
you blew
It's
me off.
immaterial.
You
You
blew
want
me
to use
off.
semantics?
She voted
That's
for it.
fine. You want to use semantics, Lois? That's fine.
He's part of
But he was,
administration.
the people that had control, let's put it that way, the people that had control,
Matt,
no. Him, you,
Matt
and
could have
Dave.
been here.
And you still
I agree.
ignored me.
You
I
blew me off.
I agree.
Right?
Matt and Gil should have
Should have
been
been
here.
And you
here.
know why we weren't here? You see, this man is asking questions that he should have asked about the administration that caused this problem. You, he, and Finn were part
Okay.
of.
Well,
You
let's
guys
go
sat
ahead.
down here and allowed these things to happen. The
No.
corruption that was going on down here with this administration, with Mad Rakers, you, Finn, and whatever,
Rakers
you
was-
allowed it to go
Matt Brackens was
on.
not a part of this.
You allowed it to go on and said nothing about
I'm
it.
not
That's
gonna
why
argue
Matt
with
and
you.
I wasn't here.
I'm not gonna
When
argue
we
with
got
you.
somebody else elected to this city council to straighten it out, which became 3-2, you guys are getting your rear ends kicked and you don't like
I'm
it.
not, it's not an issue, because I
The
work
truth
with,
is
I
out
work with
there.
whoever,
We did not cause this.
here's an
We're
issue.
straightening it out and you guys
I
don't like
work
it.
with whoever's here. But my thing is, I was appointed because there were not enough people here to do the job of a council because you guys walked out. So my thing is
Did
this.
you understand why I said we
Right,
walked
but-
out?
but my thing is
why
this,
did we
You
walk
never
out?
walk out on a job that you were elected to do. I don't care how bad it gets.
Well, that's
you
your
work
point.
it out.
I'm not going to be
That's
involved
right.
in corruption.
You know, you work
And
it
it was
through.
down here.
You work it through.
It
You
was
never-
down here.
You never
How
walk
do you know
out.
you
All right,
weren't here?
all right,
You were
all right.
appointed.
No, I'm
You
saying-
weren't elected.
all I'm saying-
You were put in a position to do what you would be
All
told
I'm
to do.
saying is you never walk out on a job that you were elected or hired to do.
Well, we're here now,
Well, you were
and we're
elected to
That's
do
fixing
no
it.
what you
excuse.
didn't
You
do
should have
it.
been here, Matt.
Well, now
You
we're
should have
here.
helped
You
straighten
should
it
have
out.
been here. You should have
Go
been
on,
here.
you were saying.
Well, it's immaterial.
You should have been here.
It's immaterial.
Plain and simple.
So were the walls, getting straightened out.
Plain and simple.
Put
The
the
only thing
blame
I'd like
on
to
me.
say real quick, is couple words. Yeah. Lou Maracus, a lot of people have a lot of things bad to say about him, and I don't really, but there's one thing I will say about him. It was 4 against 1, and he was there to open up the office every single morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he locked the doors every single night. He never backed down. That is a big difference between what has happened now and then. It is not against 3 against 2, although it sure seems to be in this city council because it just is a big pendulum. 3 against 2, goes this way for a little while, it goes the other way for a little while. It's totally disastrous until you guys learn to start talking to each other, to working together, and quit blaming each other. What's done is done. Put it behind you. Look forward.
Well, that would be nice if it actually, if everyone could.
You've got to start doing it. I'm trying to do it.
Hey, I just was responding to your
I agree with
comments,
that.
that's all.
You know, I have a statement to say. The same thing applies to here. It starts from the little city government all the way up to the White House. You cannot move any forward as long as you continue to fight and blame one another. I've never sat up here and blamed no one for what has happened in the past. I don't care if it was Mad Breakers. I don't care if it was this. We are the council now, but you guys want to live in the past and blame each other instead of work together for the good of Monessen.
Who brought the
It's not
questions
going to
up?
happen.
Who's bringing this stuff up?
I'm not even talking
Did
about
any of
that.
us bring it up?
But my thing is this, we're still fighting against each other, and it's never going to get any better because this one hates that one, doesn't want to work with that one, so it's never going to get any better. It's the same thing every darn week. Nobody wants to work together. You guys hate them, and you guys hate one another.
I don't hate it, I'll be honest.
Well,
with you.
y'all act like y'all hate each
No,
other.
I don't act like that.
Yes,
That
you
may
guys
be your
do.
interpretation of it. I do not hate anyone.
I think
don't
people
hate
can see
anyone
it.
here.
I have people who come to me on my job. I get stopped in the stores from people from Bell Vernon, from Monongahela. I know who you are from the television, from the video. They said they hate each other. They said, until you guys come together, they said, I pray for you every day because these folks fight every darn day. And this isn't me. These are people who don't even live here. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. It's been a whole goddamn year. I hate the fighting. Nobody wants to work together. I come here every week hoping and praying that we work together and leave the past behind. But we never do. Never. It's disgusting. You guys are grown and you act
All
like
right,
kids.
I've had enough of your lecture.
Well, I'm telling the truth.
I've had enough of your lecture.
Because you don't want to hear the truth.
Oh, I hear them. I
Okay,
hear
thank
them,
you.
Lois. I hear them.
But nothing
I don't-
changes.
No, a lot has changed.
No, it
There are
hasn't.
some things that haven't changed, and
It
some
hasn't.
things that have to do with the numbers.
It hasn't
I can't
changed.
change what the numbers that were done in the previous 2 years. I can't change that. I have someone ask us why we haven't paid that off. It's because we can't afford to without going bankrupt. I don't do this. I don't do this. Trust me. I have much better things to come down here and argue with people.
But there's too much finger pointing. We should always say, okay, this is where we're at, let's go from here. That's what we should
I
be
was answering
doing.
the man's question.
That's what we should go from here.
I'm
But we
answering
live in
his
the
question.
past.
I'm not living in the past.
It's too
If
much
I was
finger
living in the
pointing.
past, which would be bankrupt.
There's too much finger pointing.
I'm not pointing at anybody.
Always finger pointing, going back to the past instead of moving forward.
You have to learn from the past.
Yes,
too.
yes, you do.
You have to learn.
But you have to be able to work together.
Somebody hasn't learned.
One thing, Dawn, that you guys got to do, and honestly, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to it. A person can't stand up there until they hear what they want to hear or cause this ruckus. You ask a question, you get the answer, you sit your ass down. You can't just sit up there and stir the pot until we get to where we're at right now.
We had these same questions asked at the last meeting, the same explanations, and we get it again at this meeting. The answers were provided at the last meeting for the exact same questions. What were those all about? Why are they being asked twice? I don't know. Did he forget the answers from before? I don't know.
Earning telegraphers, 29 Rex. I have to commend to some degree that this council is making progress. You can look and see how they're resolving situations and they're showing some material proof of going forward, okay? Now, that's why it's important that you people stay focused on trying to uproot this poverty, this economy that we have, this stalemate. We gotta do our best to get it up and make some progress. We're not gonna be perfect, we're not gonna resolve every nick and cranny, but I think they're moving in the right direction. Now, saying that, I just wanna jump on F. F is on, I don't know, there's no number. Yeah. Now, I have a problem with that, because now we're starting to get into like a certain political correctness, ideology. We got terminology discrimination, and we don't even got a definition for it. And the last time I checked, the state and federal government alone have over 1 million laws on all this that you people are writing about.
If I may.
Okay?
If I may.
Yeah.
So I explained this last week, but I don't know, I know you were here, but I don't know if I explained it. So just to touch on this. So Monessen has, with our fair housing ordinances from the 50s or 60s, we have an anti-discrimination law, but it's based on race. The state and the federal laws currently are only based on race. And maybe a couple other things, I'm not sure. This goes beyond that because municipalities across the Commonwealth, there are about 60 of them right now, are adopting these ordinances to cover the loopholes that are in the state and federal laws until the state legislature comes in and updates their discrimination or rules. That's why.
First of all, I know a lot of code enforcers, contractors, home remodeling, there's laws already in place. For handicap, you gotta build it this way, you gotta have the right knobs, okay? I'm telling you, there are millions of laws, and this is a poor attempt for you to come out shining like a beacon of, some sort of beacon of like holy, equitable commission. We should be spending our time, just like they have been here, trying to resolve the city's problems and making progress in getting us up out of the mud. That is more important to me than politically correct words that you can't even define. How do you define? And then you
I
gotta.
have the definition.
Well, that's your definition.
No, I have the definition.
And then the last sentence is, you're gonna make it establishing a complaint and mediation procedure.
We actually.
Right off the bat, you're opening up the door for people to get in and start complaining.
That
Okay,
portion,
so-
if I may, that portion, the last portion, establishing a complaint and mediation procedure, that one should be stricken from the agenda because we discussed last week that that was going too far for council, so the solicitor and I adjusted it based on council's discussion last week.
There's an old saying, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. All I know is that I don't see any racial strife or discrimination against disabilities of people or anything else. I don't see there's a big problem here affecting the city. But I do see poverty, I do see lack of opportunity, and I do see that the community as a whole is not a community anymore. It's fragmented. Okay? So, I like the council to spend all their energy on practical, realistic situations like most of this syllabus shows. And that's the direction you gotta take. If there is some major problem that occurs, then I can see you guys jumping out and trying to resolve it. But as far as I'm concerned, I know a lot of people that had problems with what you got here, okay? And they were able to resolve it with state and federal laws. I didn't see anybody that I know that came to a roadblock and said, well, we can't do it because the city doesn't have a law or ordinance for it. So I don't want you guys spending your time and energy on politically correct baloney, because that's what it is. So, other than that, I just hope you guys keep going forward to improving Monessen, not making some sort of political football goals. Thank you.
Hi. Hi. Antoinette Young, and I believe, well, I know, coming from the West Coast to here, I've been a resident here for 3 years, around about, and you can feel it in the air when you come from somewhere else. And just because you can't see a thing don't mean it don't exist. And so there is discrimination in here, and I know for a fact. I work as a licensed vocational nurse. I'm licensed by the state of California psychiatric technicians. And the problem that I've witnessed here is it's a certain level of coldness. You can feel the energy, because most of what you're saying ain't coming out your mouth, it's your body language. Okay? And so when I come through, from the first time I come through here, it's like nobody welcomes you. You know, you're a new person. People here, they care about this community or they wouldn't be here. That's a fact. Okay? I'm here, and I didn't like the energy. Fact. So, you know, I don't want to be nowhere I'm not wanting. I can feel the energy. You can tell when somebody don't want to hear. So I'm full on the games. But with all that being said, I am a mental health situation survivor. And I have been arrested multiple times because people aren't educated. They're not educated. You don't arrest mentally ill people and throw them in jail. Because that's the problem we have here. I've seen it for myself. You know, it's not that hard. Oh, so my question is, because ultimately, them black and white cars, we need to see more of them. This is not a safe place. I cannot walk down this. I walked here, and it's dark. So you may not get solicited for prostitution, but you're a dude, and you don't look like me. So just because, you know, I can't deny her experience because I didn't go through that. You know, oh, it didn't happen. That's her experience. I can't deny that. I can't deny her feelings. Those are her feelings. I'm not experiencing her experience. My feelings have been denied. I've been arrested multiple times in here. Facts. Facts. And why? I'm diagnosed. I have mental illness, legitimate one, as a result of my workplace and the abuse that I suffered as a child. The people here are not educated. And then, this is a Chaz territory. Chaz stands for crack, heroin, amphetamine zone. It's like you people are not educated on what's good. This is 2020. This is not 1980 nothing. This is 2020. Okay, so I want to know I want to be safe walking down the streets. I have a right to walk. I was arrested for exercise. It's called exercise, you know, and it's part of your mental health. Exercise, physical fitness to help your mental health. You understand? So the problem here is high drugs, okay, and educating the police to know that, okay, is this a mental health situation or is this you feel me? And that takes funding for the police. They need funding. They need money to be educated. And then, and the people, because I've been to these places, they don't know nothing about 12 steps and all. The people aren't healthy. The people aren't healthy. And if the people don't have no hope, we can talk all around. People lost hope here. And that's what it is. And, you know, it's sad, but my question is, how are we funding the police, the Monessen Police Department? Because with all that being said, you know, as a result, I think they're expertly trained, considering how slow the place is. They're the best situation. They're the best situation. Because they respect me, you know, and I know they're not trained, because that's the hot topic now in California, like training, like we just seen a psychologist and all over here. And with all that being said, with them not knowing, they treated me well. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So I want them to have more money, and I want to know what you guys are doing about that. And I apologize for talking too long. And I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Because I know the job ain't easy. People look at you and they think, oh, but do what they doing, man. And it ain't easy. I understand. I don't understand how hard it is, but I know it ain't easy. And I know you own your situation. I hope. You feel me? Hope you didn't cheat, but whatever. It's not easy to do what you guys are doing, so I stepped out off the top. And when I came in here today, I noticed a big difference. I did. The ladies nice, and I did. So, you know, I noticed a difference. I want Monessen great. I love America. This is my home. I love America. So that's it. And that's important to me. If it ain't important to you, I don't know why we're here.
Thank you.
But Antoinette, their SPH Behavioral Health, I'm sure they would be willing.
No, they're no good.
No, not, but I mean, there's other branches besides the ones here.
I was hired there. They're no good.
You were down there? I mean, there's other mental health.
I'm not gonna. I was hired at the satellite work with people who aren't educated. Okay,
There's
that's the
other ones.
supervisor. No.
No, not this one. I
But
mean,
if
but
they
there
do
are
have
other
that,
mental
like,
health. Yeah, that they can partner with.
I'm cool, because I'm a supervisor. I work as a supervisor. I'm cool. I have people, they're not educated. I'm cool. I'm not working. I'm almost 50. I'm cool.
You can partner with- They can maybe partner with.
Thank you. I know how to get a job. Thank you.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
But my question is not being answered. Where's the money for the police department? That's what I asked.
So right now, I
What's up
think
there?
off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure the budget for them is about 1.2 million.
They need more,
They
okay, so they need
have-
more of that. What
They
is-
have started doing more training,
Okay.
but I agree that they
They
need to
need
do
more
more.
money. Why,
I'm also looking right now, I spoke with the chief about looking for there are some grants through the Department of Justice for police, for local police departments, so I'm looking at that right now. But I
They need
agree.
money. I told my family in California, they need money. I'm out of here because I gotta walk home. You feel me? So there ain't no street lights here. That's crazy. It's not safe for a beautiful, American woman to walk down the streets. And if y'all, thank you. That's not cool. So I gotta go home because it's dark. Be safe.
Please
I
be
will.
careful.
I will. Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
Up here where I live, is that still going on, what we talked about the last time I
To
was
do a
here?
cleanup?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll have to do it in the spring, I think, but
Okay.
definitely, yeah. I asked for the stuff to be boarded up. Has it been boarded up yet?
no.
Okay.
Now listen, a couple nights ago, I found something again, and I called the police station. I had U-Hauls come up in Thompson. The house next to Viaduct Bar, from Viaduct Bar,
The yellow one.
the yellow one, and 511, where Donald Simmons used to live. People been staying in there. Then the house where Eric Harder was living, people been staying in that one. But the other one where McCullough's live, nobody can get in that one because that one's screwed tight shut. Because I screwed tight shut that one bottom and top. Then the next one, 525 Ross Day, where McCullough's grandmother used to own, nobody can get in that one. And the one that Tamara owns on the corner of 527, that one is boarded to the max. Nobody's gonna get in that one. Because Lois, you know what I'm talking about? I got two girls live up where I live, and they call me all the time because they got surveillance cameras on their windows where they live. My neighbor Jody and Tracy, they call me all the time.
So those three on Ross Draver are good. They're
Five-
screwed shut.
527 boarded shut. There's nobody can get in that one. 525, the next house that McCullough and his grandmother own, that one's boarded shut. The next house that Edie McCullough owns, nobody can get in that one. But the garage that Edie McCullough owns, somebody been using that as a garbage dump. Anthony Cruz's building, nobody can get in that building. That building
That's
is
the
boarded top to bottom.
That's the brick one?
That's the brick one that Anthony Cruz owns. Listen, the neighborhood's coming along good up there. Because me and Brian sort of been working for France, me and Brian stay on top of stuff. And Lois, you get that crew, listen, believe me, as long as like I told Donnie and Tony and you, as long as I got my bottle of Pepsi, I'll go all night up there. As long as they give me the tripods. Thank you guys.
We'll call you.
Okay. So, under correspondence, I read this letter last week, but we have a letter from the Red Cross. It is basically the executive director of the Red Cross for our region just reaching out, introducing herself, and talking about them wanting to get more involved in communities. And then we have the Midmont Valley Turkey Drive. So a resident of Bell Vernon, Jenna Martis, reached out to me about this. She wanted to do this turkey drive. It will be outside of the building here in the courtyard on November 21st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we have a flyer on the door, but the email address on there got cut off. Jenna is handling the volunteers and stuff. So if anyone would like to donate financially, donate a turkey, also non-perishable Thanksgiving type things like box stuffing, canned green beans, that sort of thing. If anyone is in need of a turkey, they are taking reservations, but there will be first come, first serve if you don't reserve one. And I know that Salvation Army is doing their turkey dinner. Obviously, that's a cooked meal. So if you have your heart set on cooking Thanksgiving dinner and you don't have the means to buy a turkey or whatever you need, this is an option. And it is open for the whole Mi'kmaq Valley. And social distancing masks will be enforced with that event. And then we have a flyer here for the Trap, Neuter, Release project. Many of you have probably heard Carissa Barkas speak on this. So on November 30th and December 29th, the Spay and Neuter Fix and Wagon clinic will be in town. The flyer says this is the most effective and humane way to combat the abundance of stray cats and kittens in Monessen. The first 2 mobile clinics will set traps to catch the stray cats. Once caught, the cats will be spayed and neutered, receive proper medical care, rabies vaccinations, and receive a flea treatment. They will then be available for adoption or will be released where they were caught. The anticipated cost is $36 per neuter and $55 per spay. And then it goes on to say, to get involved, keep your pet secure inside on the trap, neuter, release dates. If you feed any strays, do not feed them within 24 hours of the trap, neuter, release dates. Do not disturb the traps or trappers during trapping. And you can reach out and let them know if you have a lot of stray cats in your neighborhood that they should take a look at and try to catch them. So they're asking residents to provide street address and the description of the stray. And there's a GoFundMe set up called Monessen TNR program, and that funding will go directly to the city specifically for these 2 clinics. Carissa has organized that GoFundMe. And then if you want to donate via check, you can make the check out to Monessen City Treasurer and put in the memo for CAT TNR, something like that, so that we know what it's for. There's contact information on here too, and if you have any questions, you could also contact the city, and we'll put you in touch with Carissa, who's coordinating this. But there is a flyer on the front door, and we can leave a few of these out if anyone is interested or has a cat problem in their neighborhood. And then I have 2 charts here. The first one, I think you all, if you don't have it, I think they're on a table as you come in. The first chart shows the comparison of the solicitor expenses from January 1st to November 9th, 2019, compared to January 1st to November 9th, 2020. 2019, the total was $54,194.21 as of this date. And this year, as of this date, it's $23,660, with a decrease of 56.3% from that same time frame. And then decrease. So if you're looking at the chart, the blue is last year and the red is this year. And then same thing with what I did for August and September with the major fund balance comparisons. If you're looking at the chart, blue is 2019 for October and red is 2020 for October. So general fund of 2019 was $146,370.04. October 2020 was $512,275.47. Debt service for October 2019, $189,250.20. For October 2020, $454,605.17. Line usage for October 2019, $116,703.55. For October 2020, $61,339.94. For liquid fuels, October 2019, $98,530.78. October 2020, $69,125.03. Parks and Recreation, October 2019, $221,609.39. And October 2020, $88,705.77. And the October 2019 total of those specific fund balances was $772,463.96. And for October 2020, $1,186,051.38. And the balances in these major city funds saw an increase of 53.5% in October 2020 as compared to October 2019. And just to clarify, because I think last month there was some confusion, the debt service fund is a fund. So that is actual money that is earmarked to pay the debt, but that's what's on hand as of right now.
That's in an interest-bearing account?
I believe so. John, is it applicable?
Yes.
It's an applicant account? So it would behoove us to
Well, we
hold
get
on to that
interest,
to
we
the end
get
of the year.
interest in both accounts, but it's just a little low.
So we're making money on it while it sits
Yeah,
there.
either
But it has to go out by
either
December
account, right.
31st.
Yeah.
We didn't have any old business. Moving on to city treasurer. The city treasurer is not here. Unfortunately, his wife passed away unexpectedly yesterday, so we send our sympathies to him. So Rosalie will be reading the treasurer's report for the month ending October 2020.
Mayor and members of council, ladies and gentlemen, the garbage fees and city real estate taxes collected for the month of October, the current amount for October is $4,408. Year-to-date, $348,779.29 versus a budget of $370,000. Delinquent garbage collected for the month of October, $759.95. October year-to-date, $112,714.59 versus a $200,000 budget. The garbage for the Housing Authority, which is received on a quarterly basis, October we received $15,258.75. October year-to-date, $61,035, and the budget is $67,800. The total budget for 2020 for the garbage is $637,800. Garbage collections for 2021 for the month of October was $895, and year-to-date is $1,574.98. The budget is $100,000. City real estate taxes, the revenues for October, $11,556.46. Year-to-date, $2,017,833.44. The distribution on that, the general fund is $1,450,000. The debt service is $500,000. The parks budget is $251,750, and the library is $50,000 for a total of $2,251,750. Delinquent city taxes. City taxes prior year collected by the city, October year-to-date, $4,672.39. The budget was $4,000. City taxes collected by Westmoreland County Tax Claim Bureau, which is quarterly. Year-to-date October was $194,482.37 versus a budget of $120,000. Year-to-date taxes was $2,216,988.20. The city real estate tax distribution for the general fund was $1,426,843.46. The debt service was $492,281.16. The parks, $247,863.58, and the library fund, $50,000, for a total of $2,216,988.20. The real estate transfer tax for the month of October was $6,767.49. Year-to-date was $164,501.43. The earned income tax collected for the month of October was $19,560.17. The year-to-date was $490,079.63. Mercantile tax collected, month of October, $1,185.83. The year-to-date, $24,146.39. Local service tax, $2,930.04 for the month of October, and the year-to-date was $60,899.72. Tax certifications for the month of October, $2,260. Year-to-date, $20,120. Municipal lien letters, $1,950 for the month of October. Year-to-date, $14,625. And that is the report for the city treasurer.
I make a motion to approve the treasurer's report as read. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Questions?
Mayor, I got a question, or just a point of interest. I know council made a big deal back in April.
About Fort Lawn?
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing myself.
I don't see a big goose egg here.
I will be asking what's going on with that. I was thinking the same thing.
May I? Because I have asked about it. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take several months.
It's been 8 months. Wasn't this council approved it?
8 months is from April since we approved it.
I believe it was March or April. It was
Well, still have
Didn't have
only
to,
6 or
didn't
7
have
months.
to July, we transferred.
But once you get it, they have to go through the process, and they will start bringing it in. It's just a matter of time.
I know the letters were sent out.
Yeah. And actually, we did have a lot of people come in
Yeah,
and start paying.
we just approved Fort Knox in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent the information.
But this
final-
council approved it.
The
way
ordinance,
back.
I know the
Final
ordinance.
approval.
Yeah.
The ordinance and everything in September.
Yep.
They couldn't do anything until we approved that in September.
Well, we passed it in
But we
April.
didn't pass all the.
We didn't pass the
final
ordinance which stated
ordinance.
$585 would be the minimum, and everything other than that would be their part to go after.
So that would, we have done
So
that
we're
back
already
in
looking at
April.
about 2 months, 2.5 months. I look for about 6 to 8 months before we see a substantial return.
Well, the interesting thing is, there has been an increase in as far as garbage fees, delinquent being paid. Because when that first went out, when they first sent out the letters that they were going to be sending to Fort Knox, I think we got like $60-some thousand came in the next couple of months.
And what's happened is, if you take a look, just look down at the collection by the taxes that for Westmoreland County have jumped substantially. And that's because some of the letters are getting out, and their payments are to Westmoreland County. We'll see ours start to pick up as we go along, and Westmoreland will go down.
So we don't need to-
Any other questions on the treasurer's report? Roll call vote.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Worzakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod?
Yes. Double duty tonight.
The city controller's report for the month of October, the general fund community bank checking account, bank reconciliation as of October 31st, 2020. The beginning bank balance as of September 30th, 2020 was $790,558.56. Deposits were made in the amount of $261,054.86. Expenses were $563,077.19. The ending balance as of October 31st was $488,536.23. We have outstanding checks in the amount of $33,996.50 and outstanding deposits of $25,250.19. $212.44. The reconciled balance to the bank statement is $479,752.17.
Moving on to new business. I would like to make a motion to approve a 15-foot alley located parallel to Alexander Avenue and Lookout Avenue from Loftview Street to its northern terminus, the honorary name Neuter Alley, and to purchase a sign stating such. Is there a second?
I second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve the articles of agreement by and between the City of Monessen, a municipal corporation organized and existing under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, having its principal place of business at 557 Donner Avenue, Monessen, Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, 15062, hereinafter referred to as Owner and WEC Inc., a corporation organized and existing under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, with an office at 1370 Washington Pike, Suite 304, Bridgeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, hereinafter referred to as engineer, for the sewer rehabilitation project Phase 4, 9th Street, Delaware Avenue, and Shawnee Park. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Aye.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve articles of agreement by and between the City of Monessen, a municipal corporation organized and existing under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, having its principal place of business at 557 Donner Avenue, Monessen, Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, 15062, hereinafter referred to as Owner and WEC Inc., a corporation organized and existing under the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, with an office at 1370 Washington Pike, Suite 304, Bridgeville, Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, hereinafter referred to as engineer, for the 2020 CDBG roadway rehabilitation project, Phase 1, reconstruction of Euclid Drive from Grand Boulevard to Crest Drive. Is there a second?
Second.
Question?
Now, this says Phase 1. Why does it say Phase 1?
Do we know why? I'm not sure.
That's established by the engineers.
Oh.
Okay, when I hear
Phase
Phase 1,
one,
it
Phase
means
one,
that there's a
yes.
Phase 2.
Yeah, I don't know if there would be a Phase 2, but
I mean, if it's being reconstructed, there's not really anything else to be done.
That's why I wonder why it says Phase 1. It makes me think that there's going to be another part of we didn't discuss another part of it. I'm just curious.
No,
it says Phase 1.
You're right, we did not.
Right. That just makes me wonder, is there
Yeah.
something that they're doing 2 phases of that we didn't discuss that we're not aware of?
No, I mean, that's the whole street, so.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
what's
I was
in
just
there?
curious, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's a
Right.
CDBG thing, but, yeah. Call the roll.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Mayor Sherrod.
Yes. Motion to approve resolution number 21 of 2020, declaring the intent of the City of Monessen to follow the schedules and procedures for disposition of records as set forth in the Municipal Records Manual approved on December 16, 2008, as amended July 23, 2009, and March 28, 2019. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Coles,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas,
Yes.
Councilman Gregor,
Aye.
Councilman Chakowski,
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 22 of 2020, declaring the intent of the City of Monessen to dispose of certain municipal records in conformity with prior city resolutions and the Municipal Records Manual. Is there a second?
Second.
And just to clarify again, there are old payroll stubs, pay stubs in the back that are beyond the date of what we need to keep. So from, I believe, from 2000 to the end of 2012. So that's what this is about. Call the roll.
Councilman Grigor?
Aye.
Councilman Jackowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod?
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to conduct the first reading of ordinance number 14 of 2020, an ordinance of the City of Monessen, Westmoreland County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, establishing certain rules and regulations regarding the prohibition of discrimination in housing, commercial property, employment, and public accommodations based upon race, color, religious creed, ancestry, age, sex, national origin, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, genetic information, handicap or disability, use of a guide or support animal because the user is a handler or trainer of support or guide animals, and provide for the creation of the City of Monessen Human Relations Commission, and providing definitions and providing for an effective date. Is there a second? And just to clarify, we did edit based on council's discussion last week regarding the procedures for complaint and mediation. So it's basically for educational purposes. I think, Lois, that was your idea when the solicitor brought it up. So.
May I? I'd like to read this over. I didn't have the opportunity. Could we hold this over to another meeting?
Yeah, we could table it.
Yeah, I'd like to table it, so I'd like to read through this. And Tim, there's no financial cost to the city of Monessen here?
The revised ordinance essentially tracks state and federal law in saying that these certain things are illegal, which they're already illegal under state and federal law. And it creates a commission that does not have any sort of enforcement power, doesn't have any sort of mediation, it doesn't have any sort of legal proceeding authority. It's solely for the purpose of providing recommendations.
How many people on this commission?
5, as recommended by council.
I would like to read through it.
Okay. Motion to table.
I'd like to make a motion to table.
Second. Any further questions?
So basically, now, this is basically, if an issue arises, the commission will address that and hopefully, de-escalate whatever is going on.
In like a
Basically,
general,
in
an educational sense. So essentially, what they can do, like, if the people on the commission said, we're seeing racial issues or whatever the case may be, they could go and do some research in general on the issue and then, educate the public on that. Or whatever the case may be in the ordinance.
So it would not address, this current ordinance would not address specific instances of alleged discrimination at all.
The previous one would, that was very involved.
This one, like I said, it just identifies what is illegal just for everybody's education, and then, it provides the commission to study and provide education for the community and to make recommendations to council. So it's scaled back substantially.
Tim, a lot of this started with the Human Relations Commission per se itself.
Well, the Pennsylvania has a Human Relations Commission, and at the federal level, there's the EEOC. Those would be the primary enforcement bodies for.
But we could go to enforce some of the.
The city would not be enforcing anything in this ordinance because it's not an enforcement power ordinance. It's essentially just an educational public notice ordinance that says, hey, look, we acknowledge that certain actions are illegal discrimination, and that the city obviously takes a position that that's not good, and so the commission basically just serves as a recommendation body for educational purposes and for addressing those issues with potentially other programs.
Like for policies and.
Yeah, it would not, like I said, if there was somebody who believed they were discriminated against because of their disability status, racial status, whatever, they would not be providing any sort of complaint to the commission or to the city.
Our people would be in charge of what we do here in the city.
These people, no, this is
No.
purely recommendation. The commission would be a purely advisory body to the city. It would not have any sort of enforcement or policy decision.
Call the roll.
Councilman Cole?
Aye.
Councilman Thomas?
We
No,
table
To
it.
take-
The motion to table.
This
Motion
is
to
to
table,
table.
okay. Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrill?
Yes. So we'll table that. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to conduct the first reading of ordinance number 15 of 2020, an ordinance of the City of Monessen, Westmoreland County, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, establishing and implementing a program to charge user fees for the deployment of certain public safety services rendered by the Monessen Bureau of Fire, the Monessen Fire Department Companies 811 and 812 for the City of Monessen, and providing for an effective date. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Well, this is the first reading. We have to,
Yeah, this is the first reading.
we have to have a motion.
Yes.
Yeah, because that formally introduces it as an ordinance. So it would require, should require official action to introduce.
Any questions?
Will there be a list of those actual use?
Yeah.
Do we have that list in there?
It's attached.
Okay.
The fee list is the last page. And this could be adjusted like any other fee schedule. Call the roll.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrill?
Motion to accept the donation of 2 vacant properties to the City of Monessen from Doreen and Darlene, daughters of Matthew Canistrell. The properties are located on Moffett Street, across from Shawnee Park, and along Soccerfield Road. Tax map numbers 2002080382 and 2002080384. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrill?
Yes. Motion to approve the exoneration of taxes owed to the city in the amount of $140.10, tax map numbers 2002080382 and 2002080384. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any questions? And these, just to clarify, are for the taxes on the property that was just donated to us, that we just accepted.
So these just like lots,
Yeah, they're just undeveloped lots.
so they bought them and then they're giving them back. It's
Well,
nice they're giving them
The
back.
family had them for years.
Right.
And the Canistrells passed away, so the kids are just
Giving them
donating
back.
to us,
I think they initially acquired them from the city.
Right,
Yeah.
right, that's what I
So,
meant.
yeah.
Hey, Matt, is that big lot up by, the soccer field?
Or well, it's like on the way, it's all wood.
Oh, okay. It was actually slag, wasn't it, dumped at one time?
It starts at Moffett, runs up.
Starts them off and you get back and off to Stephanie's house. This part of the sewage project, John, is that why you're requiring it? Is it-
He asked if it's part of the sewage project. It's not.
Well, I thought that-
They're donated, they don't want them. The parents passed away.
Yeah, it's south of the project. Where the project will go most likely is to Shawnee Park, the most direct.
Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrill?
Yes. Motion to approve the exoneration of city taxes in the amount of $5,525.73. Tax map number 2002030023, location 541 Donner Avenue. The contractor will sign a developer agreement for the rehabilitation of the existing building. Is there a second?
I'll second.
This is, the pawn shop building next door.
Just to point out for council, this, the way that this is structured is the taxes are only exonerated after the property is acquired and after there's a certain amount of money that's actually put into the building. So, that provides some protection to the city, that they're going to actually get a rehabilitated building without, they're not just giving up and exonerating their taxes without getting a rehabilitated building in exchange for that. So,
That was my question. I was getting ready to ask the question. I says, because if that's the case, if you're just gonna exonerate, then you're gonna have other people saying,
Yeah.
well, you're exonerated for these, we're opening ourselves up.
Yeah.
So if that's on hold until they make a certain sort of amount of progress, then we, okay.
Yeah,
I just
that's
wanted to
exactly
make-
right.
Okay,
So,
that's fine.
and if you look at, and so in addition, this would be a motion to approve the related development agreement, which you also have in your packets, and the development agreement is what actually spells all of that out, where they would then be required to make that investment in the property before the actual taxes are exonerated.
And we didn't have time to look at that.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we have time to look at this before we say yes to this?
I mean, it says what I just kind of explained, but, that's up to you guys in terms of whether you want to review it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, but I just thought we should look at this, because if we're doing this, this is an agreement that other people are gonna approach us for too. So we wanna make sure that we're good with this, because we might have a whole lot of other people coming.
What that's making sure
Okay.
is making sure that this property will be rehabilitated before it collapses.
I agree. What's the percentage do we have a percentage here? of
They
how
have
much?
to spend $12,409.26 on rehabilitation and improvement for the property
Okay, that's what I
to render it habitable and occupiable.
Okay.
So it's
And that's in
three
here?
times, yeah, it's three, if you look at the agreement,
That's
you
what I
have
just wanted to
section
know.
1, 2,
Okay.
and section 3 are the most relevant ones.
Okay.
They have to invest at least 3 times what the delinquent taxes are
Okay,
in the
okay.
property in order to qualify
Okay,
for
that's
the
fine, because we didn't have a chance, so that's why I'm trying to ask these questions beforehand, so we can vote on it. Okay.
This is Josh Lindsay.
East North Machine,
Yeah.
LLC.
541 would be my buddy Mark, actually, but I.
Oh, that's right.
That's fine, I wanted to know what percentage was. It's a lot easier if you can tell me, because
Yeah,
you didn't
I
get a
didn't
chance.
see you
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
pole.
Okay.
So that's, like I said, sections 1, 2, and 3 in the agreement are where that's spelled out. 1, it requires that the property owner, or the developer actually acquire the property since it's not city property. So they've got to come to some sort of agreement with the current property owner. 2, it requires them to actually develop or rehabilitate the property to bring it in conformity with the UCC, your building code essentially. And then 3, it creates the timeline for exoneration. So, and the amount that needs to be invested before the exoneration occurs, which, like I said, is 3 times. We confirm the amount of the delinquent taxes, and it's 3 times what the delinquent taxes are. So that's all spelled out for you.
Yeah, I had that mixed. The company is East North Machine, is for 361 Studebaker, and L&H Electric Machine is for the Donner Avenue property, which is 541. And the individuals know each other, and I can state one thing is the quality of the carpentry and everything that they do has been excellent.
Oh, I know that, I know where they're at, yeah. I just wanted to understand this agreement because we hadn't had time, and that's fine.
This agreement really ties us together as making sure that we both
Right.
hold up our ends of the deal,
Right,
and which is good.
That's fine.
Any other questions? So I'm going to revise my motion to include the development agreement because it's not in the original motion. So that would be a motion to approve the exoneration of city taxes in the amount of $5,525.73. Tax map number 2002030023, location 541 Donner Avenue, and to also accept the development agreement. Is there a second for that revised motion?
I'll second.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Drager?
Aye.
Mayor Sherrod?
Yes. And a motion to approve the exoneration of city taxes in the amount of $4,136.42, tax map number 2002030105, location 361 Schoonmaker Avenue, and to approve the development agreement. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And this is the same thing.
I have a question though. What does it mean unsold status?
That's, so if,
That's the county. The county has gone through 2, maybe 3 auctions, and nobody has bought it. So if we waited for it to continue, it might be 2 or 3 more years.
And we just continue to deteriorate.
Yeah,
there are 817 properties in unsold status in Monessen right now. Call the roll.
Councilman Coles?
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Drager?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
I do want to say one other thing. I have also sent a letter to the school district for them to process for their exoneration of the taxes. And as I receive the answer from there, we will forward it on to the county, and the county will vote on it next month. And then the developer will be ready to do it. He'll be ready to do business with the county.
And I also vote yes, she skipped me.
Next one.
Motion carries. Motion to transfer the following properties from the City of Monessen to the Redevelopment Authority for sale to H&L Properties, 447 Donner Avenue, Monessen, PA 15062, tax map number 2002080219, 305 Delaware Street, and 2002080181, 420 Delaware Street. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
And we will direct them to you guys to make a presentation. Any questions?
Who was that H&L Properties?
I think that's the,
We also have another developer in town, Single Properties in Delaware on this end of the town. And he is interested in properties there. And so we're going to work with him also. So we now have 3 developers that will be working to improve the city. And as we get developers, that's what you need to build an infrastructure. And as you do, the price level starts to rise, the tax level goes up, and that's what we need in the city. So this fellow has been confirmed to be a good craftsman, and they do have financial status, and I think we'll do very well with him also.
They have a building downtown?
He owns the cricket shop downtown.
Oh, his name is,
You mean a booth? Not the booth?
yeah,
J.D. Lord.
Jamie.
Yes.
Hey, Matt, question. The dude that owns the laundromat, okay, now listen, garbage night cake, he put construction back up. You know, I thought you know I was put construction back up.
we'll address that at the end.
I would, you're gonna see a lot more activity from people in Monessen. I'm not sure if you're all aware of it or not, but they're building that beltway around Pittsburgh.
The expressway.
Yeah,
And when that beltway is completed, we're gonna be between 25 minutes and 30 minutes away from Pittsburgh. So you're gonna see a lot of real estate people coming in down here because our properties are so inexpensive. So, 20 years from now, I have really great hopes for the city of Monessen because of that beltway.
It does take some added work to get this and get it moving, but once these developers start to move, they're going to have people talk to them, and all of a sudden they'll have enough jobs that I need you to do this job, and I need to do this job, and the money starts to flow. And that's what's happening now. We're in the first 2 to 3 weeks right now, and the activity is just starting to pick up. So we're going to see a lot more of this.
And the more properties that are fixed, the easier it is. You know, people will see that, and you know, I think it's like keeping up with the Joneses. You know, if people have the means to update their properties as well, they'll do so.
Yeah. And what you want, as soon as the banks start to see properties go, they want a part of the avenue. And that's what's going to happen, and then financially they'll set everything up. So this is just the first 2 or 3, but we'll have more coming.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilor Zakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod?
Yes. Motion to transfer the following property from the city of Monessen to the Monessen Redevelopment Authority for sale to Latea Tom, 1240 Highland Avenue, Monessen, PA 15062, tax map number 2002060021. Location is 1238 Highland Avenue. It's a vacant lot. I believe this is next door to her house.
Yes.
So it's a sidewalk. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions?
What happened here is the property next door was owned by the city. We hadn't got around to cleaning it. She called and said that if we clean it, that she would like to buy it and maintain it from there on. So what we're doing is we're transferring this over to the Redevelopment Authority, and they will have the ability to make finances on the sale of this property, so that will help them out financially. So we'll continue to do this and improve.
Okay, thanks. Any questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Sherrod?
Motion to approve Julian Napier for part-time prisoner watch position, approved by the chief. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions?
Was he our only applicant?
I am not sure. I think they were looking for multiple people though, but the chief hasn't said anything to me. Call the roll.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Orchakowski?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod?
Yes. Police report for the month ending October 2020. Parking permit receipts, $2,500. Total miscellaneous collection, $345. Total receipts from District Justice Office, $2,287.93. Total receipts collected for October 2020, $5,132.93. Call log for the month of October 2020. I'll just read some highlights. We have commercial alarms 17, assist EMS 112, assist other LEA including code enforcement 12, domestic complaints 17, fax requests for investigations 20, follow-up investigations 22, hearings 15, identification checks 13, miscellaneous calls for service 119, patrol checks including county-owned property 30, registration checks 42, suspicious person, auto or circumstance 16, theft 10, vehicle stops 50, welfare checks 13 for a total monthly call of 630, and the Westmoreland County Department of Public Safety's total is 711. Total calls for the year is 5,871. Arrests for October 2020, we have a total of 59, and the year-to-date is 769. Total miles for October 2020 is 5,859, with an average of 189 miles per day. And that is the police report for October. Councilwoman Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. The Streets Department report for October 2020. They picked up garbage twice a week downtown, answered 28 PA1 calls, cold patched 15 roads, put up several signs and one mirror throughout the city, filled 4 catch basins, hauled TVs to Latrobe from the cleanup, removed the ramp from the boat dock for the year, started their leaf collection. As if you weren't here, they are the day after your garbage pickup. If you leave leaves outside, they will pick up your leaves.
And if it's on a Friday, it'll be on the Monday.
And they help the Parks Department as needed. I also have just an update from the library for them. Kevin Creasy fixed the parking lot lights. The library will receive 2 CARES grants in the next few months. One from CFWC for $693 and one from the office of Commonwealth Libraries for $1,500. They started their Christmas boutique downtown if you wanted to go check on that. The annual campaign fund letter will be sent out to around 1,500 people within the next 2 weeks. So if you get a letter, it's to raise funds for the library since they couldn't hold a lot of their regular activities. Since they reopened in June, they have an average of 950 people. Before COVID, the library averaged about 2,200 people per month. Okay, now they're operating on a 25 hours versus 45 hours. And Marcia, who's in charge of the children's library, she continues to do virtual story times throughout the library on Facebook. But that's about it.
Councilman Orgeron.
Thank you, Mayor. Parks report for the month ending October. The parks actually cut all the ball fields, all parks, fixed the benches at Shawnee. They got the pavilions ready for events, picked up plaques for pavilions, helped the street department as needed, and have all the porta potties been collected yet?
Pardon me?
Have the porta potties been started to be collected yet because it's winter, and we don't want to pay for something that's going to start freezing.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to them, find out. I think they have a schedule when they're coming in, but I'll find out.
I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah.
I thought I'd ask.
And then the water too.
The water will be shut off on Monday of next week.
Yeah, Columbus. 6 new LED energy-saving light fixtures were installed at the Monessen Public Library lot. The city's electrician, Kevin Chris, saved the city about $1,500 from the original quote. We thank him. 2 new steel doors and frames were installed at City Park ball field concession stand. The doors are rusted and someone actually rammed the doors trying to gain access. Thank you, Lois. I think someone brought that to your attention. And Shawnee Ball Field, additional fencing was installed to eliminate the frauds from continuing entering and destroying the playground.
Councilman Gregor.
Good evening, everyone. Code enforcement financial report for October. Performing licenses year-to-date was $1,250. Building permits for October was $2,090. Year-to-date was $23,598. Demolition permits, year-to-date $425. Mercantile machines, $5,485 year-to-date. Chicken permits, year-to-date $75. Street opening permits, October was $12,051. Year-to-date, $52,015.33. Magistrate code enforcement, October was $291.69. Year-to-date was $884.26. Zoning fees, year-to-date, $18,591.21. Sign permits, year-to-date, $1,225. Eat and drink license for October was $150. Year-to-date, $550. Health inspections year-to-date was $1,475. Habitation permits for October was $585. Year-to-date was $9,730. Landlord fees for October was $2,125. Year-to-date, $19,550. Yard waste pickup was $100 for October. Year-to-date was $920. Unsewered line usage, year-to-date $6,480. October was $17,392.69 was the total. Year-to-date total was $142,253.80. Code enforcement activity report. Habitation permits for October 8th. Correction letters 60. Animal complaints 1. Miscellaneous complaints 60. Citations 20. Inspections 1. Building permits was 2. Office meetings with residents was 23. Zoning permits were 3. Vacant property notifications were 108. Mon Valley Emergency Medical Services EMS report for the month ending October 2020. Total number of calls was 122. Fire Department report for October 2020. We had automatic fire alarms 6, CO calls 1, structure fire 1 wires down, 1 motor vehicle accidents, 3 EMS assist, 1 vehicle fire, 1 LZ landing zone, 1 structure fire in Carroll Township. Excuse me, we had 3 structure fires in Carroll Township. Public service was 1, bicycle accidents was 1. Total calls 20, total responding was 209. Average responding per call, 10.45 individuals. Total people hours, 173. We performed 5 fire drills at Douglas. We did 1 walkthrough and employee presentation at SPHS daycare with the employees, and we dealt with multiple illegal burns. I'd like to make a comment on that. We're getting a lot of people out there. They need to pay attention. You are not permitted to burn trash, construction waste, shrubbery, trees, unless it's in, the trees you can burn if it's in a fireplace, but you can't just start a brush fire. We've had some real issues with this, and we will not be issuing warnings, we will be issuing citations. Also, today we met with the mill. We're going to conduct a drill with them in December. And that concludes my report.
John, this has nothing. Remember the wires that came down on the key? What's up with those? Those wires are still on the ground and everything. Now I know you said that our people aren't responsible for those, but those wires are still down on the ground on the key when that tree fell out.
Chief.
It's Verizon or Comcast.
Verizon or Comcast.
Like
If
I
they're
said,
not,
it was
they're not
called in
electrified,
multiple times.
they
I
won't.
don't know. Yeah, because they're.
They take
The only thing is at night, if somebody doesn't know they're there, somebody can trip and fall, because they're down on the ground.
I mean, that could always
We've had sometimes what's happened is they've rolled them up and put them up on
They
a
didn't even
pole.
roll them up,
No,
they
they're
are
just
still
hanging.
on, they're on the ground, still.
Think we could get them on.
Yeah, I was just curious, because
But we don't touch their
it's dark
stuff.
out.
Well,
So
maybe
they're
you
responsible
step in a
then if
bucket of
somebody
water
falls,
and-
the
They're
Verizon gets
responsible.
sued.
I can only go
Okay.
look and see it from there, though.
I just, the
They are
Verizon will be
responsible for their
responsible,
wires.
okay.
We're not,
I
we're
just
not
don't want to
really
fall back
committed
on
to
that.
be touching their stuff.
That's fine, because,
If they're Comcast, I'll call them. It's up on the key.
yeah, where that tree
Keyway.
came down, mhm.
Okay, I'll give them a ring and,
Probably not in a hurry, because they go to a free event at home.
Right.
matter of fact, we have a part-time police officer, the Comcast guy, right? I think I'll
That
see
might
him.
help. That might help. Might help.
You go ahead and push.
Yeah.
Councilman Coles.
Thank you, Matt. Following, ladies and gentlemen, is my report on item A to approve the payment of invoices for the general fund in the amount of $295,679.99.
Second. Is there a question? Call the roll.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Chakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrod?
Yes.
I'd like to get a motion on item B to approve the payment of invoices for line uses in the amount of $16,014.36.
Second. Questions? Call the roll.
Councilman Chakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Sherrod?
Yes.
On item C, I'm asking a motion to approve the payment of invoices for park funds in the amount of $2,940.77.
Second. Question. Call the roll.
Councilman Chakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Aye.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Mayor Sherrill?
Yes.
On item D, I'm asking for motion to approve the payment of invoices for liquid fuels in the amount of $13,378.47.
Second. Question. Call the roll.
Councilman Coles?
Yes.
Councilman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Chakowski?
Yes.
Forgot me again.
Mayor Sherrill?
Item E, I'm asking for a motion to approve payment of invoices for recreation in the amount of $426.01.
Second. Question. Call the roll.
Councilwoman Thomas?
Yes.
Councilman Gregor?
Aye.
Councilman Chakowski?
Yes.
Councilman Coles?
Yes.
Mayor Sherrill?
Yes.
Item F, I'm asking for motion for all 20,
No, we don't need a motion for that.
You just read.
Item F.
okay, just
Yeah.
on item F, all 2020 invoices due for payment are current. G, large dollar account balances for the month ending October in the general fund is $512,275.47. Debt service is $454,605.17. Parks and Recreation is $88,705.77. Liquid fuels, $69,125.03. Line usage, $61,339.94. That completes my report.
Thank you.
Mayor, before you open up to the public, I have a few questions, comments, please. Okay, one of them is going to require, if there's an open the public for comment, then I'm going to make a motion. It's not on here, and that's a motion to pay all 2019 invoices.
Is there a second?
We pay them?
He made a motion.
Then why aren't we paying?
That's why I'm making the motion,
We
asking
just
to pay them.
talked about that. John, what has been paid so far for 2019? I know some of them are paid down.
Yeah, we paid some on the pension plan, on the refuge authority, and on the healthcare.
So we have like scheduled agreements with them and make payments with them?
Yes.
So we would make this motion and we would bankrupt the city because we
No.
left them paid from last year?
No, we would pay our debt from 2019, like
Which would
we
bank-
did.
would
Let me-
bankrupt the city?
Excuse me, Mr. Gregor. Which, well, I have a couple questions, I'm not gonna get questions about it, but, all right, you keep saying it's gonna bankrupt the city, but I read here in this building for a foundation here that says that we are pretty well flush with money, which is into, our cash flow is strong, so why can't we pay our bills? We paid our bills.
Where's it say that?
Right in the first page. Our
Where?
cash
Where?
flow is strong. I didn't make
third
this up.
paragraph.
Where does it say we're flush with money?
Well, your cash flow is
You
strong.
still have to make payroll. How many payrolls you gotta make?
We will
this year?
succeed and flourish, everything. You asked me a question, so I'm just asking you to go back on it. My question is, I made a motion, pay 2019. In 2019, we had $300,000 or $400,000 in debt. When we-
656.
No, John, not 19 to 20. I'm talking about 18 to 19. Okay? In 18, when I took office, and the mayor took office, Mr. Coles took office, in January, we had about $600,000 in debt from the previous administration. So all administrations have had debt. So I'm asking the question, I'm not asking a question, forgive me, I made a motion to pay our 2019.
Well, I would say this. If it didn't work 2 times before, what would make you think it worked now?
Well, you know, I'm paying our debt. It's a long time, and I can't see paying debt. Wait, I'm sorry, I'm addressing, I made a motion.
John,
I made a motion. So
So
the
nobody,
question,
nobody seconded it.
John.
nobody seconds it, that's
Oh,
okay then.
So discussion
Let
has
me go.
started, okay.
I think
Okay.
I asked for clarification.
So, I can't see us taking 3 years to pay off 2019 debt. So, I made a motion. If nobody wants to second it, that's understandable. But I made a motion, that's all.
And the plan to pay 2020's debt will be what?
We're not in 2020 yet, are we? So I don't know what our debt is.
2020 right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
have bills
I'm sorry, I'm
to
thinking
pay.
2021, I apologize. Oh, you're right. I was wrong. I was thinking next year. I was thinking next year.
I mean, that would be nice if we could pay that far ahead, but
Yeah, I was wrong. You're right, Don. I was actually thinking of 2021 to be.
I understand, I understand.
So all I'm saying is, that was part of the reason why previous councils got TAN notes and budgeted through the year and did that, because there was always debt left over. So, I just made a motion. If nobody wants to second it, I understand totally.
Because the thing is, we can't get a tandem, so
Correct.
we have to still be able to run. It would be nice if we could pay our debt, and we just need to realize that was the idea behind TAN notes, but since we couldn't get one, you almost can't pay it, because people need to get paid, we need to keep our doors open, so.
That's fine.
and as long as the creditors are happy with us making incremental payments, and they seem to be thus far, John's been working with them.
Not a problem. So, that got tabled. My second question is, whatever happened, and I could be wrong again, whatever happened to our audit?
The auditors never showed up, so we need to hire an auditing firm.
Well, there's a couple clarifications on that, because I did some digging today. And I spoke to DCED, and we are severely jeopardizing our grant, our funding for
You are
DCED
correct.
and CDBG money.
You are correct.
You're correct.
And I spoke to Michael Foreman today, and DCED does not have an audit from the city from 2019 that should have been in place in March.
You are correct.
I also went a little bit farther, and I spoke to Cipher and Cipher today. And Cipher to Cipher says, the gentleman, Mr. Cipher, told me he had contacted the city at the beginning of the year, February, March, 2 or 3 times, and nobody returned a phone call, and then they were told that council fired him. So there is no,
Who, did he say who fired him?
he didn't.
Who hired him?
He has they have a contract with the city.
No,
18, 19, and 20. He has a con-
no, they don't.
Yes,
You hired them, and they didn't show up.
they have a
Because
3-year
I called
contract.
them.
They have a
I
3-year.
even called them and got additional,
Wait, I spoke
Can I
to,
ask,
go ahead.
excuse me. So they have a contract.
they said they have a contract with the city of Monessen
They
to do
told-
the audit for 18, 19, and 20.
Well, why don't they come in?
They said they called to schedule a time, and no one returned a phone call. I asked again, did you follow up? And the gentleman said, yes.
When did they do this? Did they give you any documentation they actually did it?
Good one, I'm sorry, John.
Contacted the city.
The gentleman from Cipher and Cipher spoke to me on the phone today and told me that he didn't say who. He spoke to someone at the city, and nobody ever got back.
Donnie, we sent them information in March. I
And it
sent
was
the
right
first
around
stages of information to them, and they still have not come out.
Well, here's the problem. We don't have an audit as required by third-class city code, and we're in the middle to the end of November. Counselor? Solicitor?
Yeah, I mean, that's.
We got a
that's
serious problem,
concerning.
that we may lose funding.
And we
Right?
did,
Am I right, Tim?
We'll be okay because we're getting another auditor. If they don't want to come in, we'll get another
No,
auditor.
no, Mr. Harbaugh.
Oh, that's, yeah, there's
You sent them information in March?
information, yes. They asked for the
How did
information.
you send it to them?
I sent email, by name, who the contacts would be, and,
Did they ever return any?
no, nothing else came back. Until,
Show up?
I am bringing to council's attention
Oh, I'm glad you did.
that
because-
we don't have an audit, and we're gonna be up the creek without a paddle, because we're not gonna get an audit by the end of the year.
I think the other thing is, Tony, Why didn't you come to me to find out?
I just found this out this afternoon.
No, I'm just asking, why don't you come to
Down
me
in the office and
to
then
find out?
bring it up.
And council did,
I'm
approve
asking
to
now,
put out an
in a
RFP
public
in
forum.
February for an
Embarrassing,
audit.
embarrassing.
What happened to DCED's audit, though? That's even the more
That's,
the concerning
that's the
one.
one that they do.
No, they do two of them.
Yes, but that's one of them.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
But Michael Foreman says, quite frankly, not a good chance, no words in people's mouth, but there is a chance that they could pull our funding next year.
Also, we have to make sure that.
And part of the funding is what's left over money for the city administrator, that we got that grant from.
That money is all but $4,000.
There was a part, there, he said, there was a portion left.
$4,092 and change.
He did say there was a portion, small portion.
That's all that's left.
So we need to
At
get,
$130,000, it's down to $4,092.
we need to get somebody in here to do an audit.
Yes.
It's incredible that our auditors just not show up and
Yeah,
give the
Tim,
same information.
the other
That's
auditors.
a conversation with
I'm
them,
glad you brought it up.
but that's a
because
conversation with
ridiculous.
them and whomever. That's not my conversation to have with them. I just was following up because I asked 1 or 2 meetings ago about the audit. Where was the audit? Where was our audit? And nobody had an answer then. Tim, did I bring that up a couple of months ago?
Yeah, we will, absolutely. I mean, council will want to make that a priority, and we have reached out. I've reached out to get some proposals from a couple auditing firms now that this is brought to our attention. What'll happen is probably February, March, April of next year, if there's not an audit that's submitted, the DCD audit in particular, you'll start receiving 8 letters from the state saying that they're going to possibly restrict your funding next year. So those letters may start coming at some point next year.
One thing I do want to tell you,
We have, Mr. Cipher told me on the phone that they have a contract with the city of Monessen for the audit of 18, 19, and 20.
why did they come?
John, I don't know, I'm just bringing this out.
I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did.
See, here's what happened. We just, so everybody knows, we just got stopped on payment for CDBG
Times are just right.
for last year's W-2, W-9 forms, W-2 forms that weren't submitted in 2019. They cut us off. We had to go back and recreate last year's forms. I didn't tell you about this. Recreate them and send them in, and then they released our money on CDBG. So I'm well aware, and I've been dealing with DCED, and I was dealing with Cipher back then, and we did get audit forms to send to DCED. So a lot of that, if they don't know my name, shame on them, because I've been in touch with them quite a few times.
Let me get this straight, John. He says that, and I'm not doubting your word, this is my own thought processes. They say they contacted the city, but they couldn't give you the name of who they talked to. But no one called them back. But we have a contract with them. And they should have sent us a letter or something to say, we're coming in, or email.
I don't know what the procedure is.
Well,
when they go
I'll be
audit.
honest with you, they seem to be somewhat lackadaisical with their
I don't know, they do a lot of municipalities in LA. They're not a joke outfit. I wouldn't go there with them because they're pretty huge.
Don't put words in my mouth. They seem to be a little lackadaisical
Again,
towards us.
At this point right now, I'm just bringing it to everybody's attention. I told Tim about it, it was a concern that DCED is saying you should have had this in back in March or April at the very latest. And maybe you could have had it in the fall of this year because of COVID, because of the way things are going. But we are in jeopardy of losing our CDBG and any DCED funding or anything like that if we don't have it.
I don't think we will be. We will get it done in the next month or so. The biggest problem we have is the records from last year. They're totally in disorder.
Well, that's up to the auditors to figure out, I would say.
No, maybe that's one reason why they didn't come here. I mean, it's everything.
They came the year before, John, and had this problem. They were here in 18 because we were sitting here in council and they presented to us.
But here's the thing:
And all the employees had to
if
go
this
and find
happened,
all
if
the
this
files.
happened the year before, what did we do to correct it last year? Nothing.
Again. So that was my one question there, to bring it up. The
Well-
last question I have is about the newsletter. that came in the mail. I spoke to Tim about this. My concerns are two things. One, asking for a $100 donation to keep the newsletter going, whether that's legal.
So that would be legal. The city can solicit donations for a specific project, just like it is currently with the trap neuter release program. So that is not a problem. Routinely, municipalities do request funding for specific projects, including a newsletter project.
But the other one?
That one, I'd have to look at that one. I mean, that one is a little bit more of a question on that, since it's not an actual city group that the funding is going towards.
And my question there, and please tell me if I'm incorrect, Tim, is that I'm not saying it's not a bad thing. The restoration group has been in this city for a long, long, long time, okay? But placing it on a official city document, or if it goes out as a newsletter, now opens up First Amendment rights that anybody could put anything in here, and whoever's making this up can't stop it.
Well, for $100, anybody can do it.
No, it doesn't state that. It
That's
says,
what it says there. For
can you help
$100,
sponsor?
you can
That
help
is not a
sponsor.
requirement. Let's make that clear. Am I right, Tim?
So I mean, you guys may be talking past each other. Are you saying, John, that if somebody donates $100, that they can have a, for lack of a better term, advertisement in this bottom portion here?
Yes.
Okay. So for your $100, it's kind of like an advertisement.
Sure.
And this advertisement is just, it happens to be a solicitation for contributions for this Parks and Restoration group. But that could be open to anybody who would submit money to.
Absolutely.
So you're telling me the Monessen Parks Restoration Group spent $100 to put that in? That's what Tim just described. Am I correct, Tim? Did they spend $100 for that?
Sure, we can.
No, not sure. Did they spend $100 for this particular ad? Yes or no?
No, not on this.
Then that opens up a First Amendment right. Am I correct, Tim?
What we had is, we set a precedence back years ago that they would support and help fix our parks and everything. And then 6 years ago, they were told you can't do it anymore. So now we're back and we said, okay, we'd like to do it.
No problem, because actually they approached us a year or two ago, and we said, sure, as long as you had insurance, we didn't care, right, Lois?
The trees in the.
Yeah, because dead trees were coming down, and they were going to take them out, but we said we'd let the streets and parks guys, because we didn't get someone to get hurt with some of the big logs.
But you wouldn't permit them to put it in to get money in order to sustain the program.
Well, if I remember correctly, somebody inserted a flyer into the tax bills asking for a donation at that time, and that was illegal.
No.
That's what the issue was. It was a pink letter that went with the tax bills. It was the state, it was the local, and it was the school tax. And there was a flyer in there asking for donations.
It was the local tax.
But it's still illegal. You can't do that when you're mailing out taxes. Am I correct, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, whether it's illegal or not, I can't answer that off the top of my head. I would not recommend including an insert like that with the actual local tax.
So
if it's not a solicitation for the city itself.
So my question is only, and I'm just asking because is this going to bring up issues for the city, being that the group's a great group, no problem.
This is part of the reason why we can't get along.
No, this is something
This
that's,
is part of the reason why.
this is a First Amendment right. Now, if you want to step on that, Delmar, that's okay.
No, I don't want to.
For
I'm just saying
20
something.
years, they put that
Yeah.
solicitation in the tax bill. Now it's illegal.
Same old song, different.
20 years.
Talk about
I
the
don't
date.
want to hear.
It's your own
Talk about
department,
the
that's
date,
why
Lois.
it's a disgrace to them. Jeez, a whiz.
It's
So-
here.
We can't move
It's
fun
here.
past it. We just can't do it.
That's what I say, it's wrong.
Why
So-
can't we get along?
Thank
Tim,
you.
is this fine or is it?
You mean this solicitation at the bottom portion here?
If I'm asking if anybody wants to put something in here,
If somebody else is going to put something, or if somebody else wants to put a solicitation in here, now once again, I don't know, and I apologize, I don't know what this group specifically does or has been their involvement with the city and the city's properties. But, you know, hypothetically, there could be a distinction there that could be made between organizations that don't support city projects, don't do work on city properties and whatnot. But
This is why you don't need
hypothetically,
people
if
doing
somebody
things.
wanted to have a solicitation or requesting that the city put it in there, you would have to entertain that and evaluate that based on the merits of that request, regardless of what the organization was.
So who's putting this together? Who's actually doing it? And I just was curious, because
I'm doing it.
John did.
Johnson, okay.
I thought, at the last meeting, didn't we have a discussion of if there was anything that wanted to be put into the
Yeah,
newsletter?
it was September's meeting, so again, if anyone on council has anything for the newsletter.
Yeah, I thought that,
John.
but because I contacted him and we went over what I wanted to put in for the Department of Public Safety. My assumption was that you put in this about the Department of Parks. You're saying you didn't?
No, I didn't.
Why not? Why didn't you put anything in?
I did not either respond to John, or I didn't put anything in.
Never
I don't-
received anything.
Well, I remember
Why?
John asking for something, but I'm not sure I understood it was for this.
Why?
I didn't understand it was this.
Well, now you all know.
I remember the mayor sending me a thing about budget for next year.
No, I'll be honest with you, I thought everybody had contributed. I wasn't aware that,
I didn't get anything asking me to put anything in the newsletter. It's fine, I like it, but the thing is, I didn't get anything asking me if I wanted to put anything in a newsletter. Only thing I got was if I need anything to include as a line item. for
well, I thought we had, I thought we had talked about it at the meeting.
Yeah, I did
Now,
mention it, but-
when's the next one due to go out?
I could have one by year end.
Yeah.
All right, so before the year end, the department heads, if you have something, please submit it.
And just, you know, specify.
I had no problem with what was put in for my department. He knows more, John knows better than I do what, because he keeps a daily track of that. You know, so, and then what we get from Rodney, then that's fine. And I'm sure it coincides with what Rodney has. So what he put in there, that was fine.
I have
because
no
he
problem with
but,
what he put in here and how it represents what's going on, because he would know things every day that I may not know, or like Lois says, that's not a problem at all. Not at all. But John needs to know how to spell my last name.
Try to do the best you can.
That will be fixed in the next one.
And we're getting more volunteers all the time. This painting came to us and said, we'll paint and do
What's
this.
your name on the website?
I'm sorry, you put my name on.
Was your name on the website? Because mine was.
Mine was.
It is,
What website?
no, I fixed it and they're all on there. It
What?
is fixed.
website?
Look again, it's fixed.
Last time you trapped on, it's up.
No, look, yours is on there
I'm
too.
still transferring the domain.
No, the website is up and live.
Oh, you never told me about it.
I was going to announce it at the end of the meeting.
Oh,
The
okay.
website is up and live.
Okay, because I thought you were still.
But no, they're,
Means you had your name on there.
yeah, the three of you are not on it and Heppel was not on it.
Was it
It's
right?
fixed, so.
Who's Heppel?
Well,
I spelled it, it is spelled correctly, so, I hope, anyway.
That's all I have to think.
I'd like to open the floor to public comment.
oh, cat lady again.
Cat lady here with a kitten that got dropped off on my porch, so I just came, and he's a mini coon house. This one was really fun to find a rescue for. Yes. So I just came with a really quick, brief update with everything, and also just to kind of show everyone that I am putting in time and money. There is another cat. He's on Facebook. He's all black. He's not feeling well because I had to take him today to get him a rabies shot and an exam to get him into a rescue. So this came out of like my own money and my neighbors and friends' money. So just to kind of show that we are doing that. There is obviously a need outside of the TNR to start now and more than just the TNR. Like for this guy, for instance, I mean, he needs to go to a rescue. I don't know if anyone has allergies or issues of me having him out.
When will he be going to rescue?
Tonight. So that's why I have him with me. Him and the black cat will be going. Kittens are a lot easier. This one is a little bit, wow, he's being behaved now, but I assure you that it has been very fun in my basement with cats. And I actually got a call tonight about a kitten that ran out in front of someone on Overhill. They want me to come pick him up, so I'll be doing that after. Yeah, I did go up to Shawnee. I have tons of pictures of the cats and the situation going on up there. There was a cat that I could get close enough to touch before trying to smack me, and it's covered in ticks. So I only have a couple dog crates in my basement, and that's where they have to go. Transport was my issue because I do work. I just got off. It was a lovely day. These aren't even my scrubs. I don't want to talk about it. So I did find someone to transport. I also found, I've been in touch with several different rescues, and now I'm aware of some that actually have room. Some will only take kittens. Some told me what they look for in adults. And I found one to partner with me on like the TNR project. That's who's taking him. They'll be available. They took my last ferals. They have a great feral turnover, but also ones that are like able to handle. So they will be taking this one, the black one, and the one on Shawnee is covered in ticks, Oreo. I will be trapping him. They'll be taking them. Adults, typically for some rescues, before they'll take an adult, they have to have a rabies shot. So that's like something like that's what happened here. We did find a different rescue to take him, but in the meantime, we already got him. I need so many more volunteers because now I am trapping and catching and dealing with cats at all hours. And transport, I can catch, like, I mean, citizens are reaching out to me. They're like, help me come get this cat. And I can, but my issue is transport because there is feral drop-off programs, and I do have the traps, and I will do the groundwork, but I need help transporting. I'm at work. Frankie's Friends has a drop-off. I have the money. I have friends willing to donate. I mean, I have people willing to sponsor cats. So that's the issue. If someone can drive a new pen, I can handle so much more. And now I have a rescue, so that's great. At Last Animal Rescue, like I said, anyone interested in this guy or any of the other ones, there's a couple kittens that'll be there, and the black cat. I created a separate Facebook page called Monessen TNR. So it's separate from my personal Facebook page. Everything is being updated on there. I just want to remind everyone there is a class this Saturday. It is open to the public. It can be done outside of Monessen. I did speak to Matt about this. He's actually going to open council chambers. It's from 2 to 4 this Saturday, and it's with Homeless Cat Management Team. It's just an update on everything, how people can help, how people can get involved, all about TNR, taking care of the cats, any questions anyone wants to have. I know Ross Straver is actually interested, so we have inspired other communities to get involved, which was my ultimate goal. So that's wonderful. I feel like I have a ferret. So this thing, and he hasn't made a sound, and I would love for you guys to hear the sounds that he makes because it is not a normal cat. And so we have that, the Saturday class.
Okay, sounds like a cricket.
Yeah.
Is that a mouse in there?
Yeah, I buy them all toys.
Okay, I just.
Because like when you catch them from the street, sometimes they don't play with toys, so like you want to like try and socialize and work with them, teach them to play with toys, just be a normal cat. None of them like my dog, so there's that.
Is that the Electricity shelter that's in the Ken?
So New Ken is Frankie's Friends. They have a really cheap feral program. They get their rabies shots, they get neutered, spayed, they get like an overall checkup, anything that's necessary. They'll get the ear tip. So like for him, he can go to a home. But for any of our super feral cats, they're going to be released. We want to ear tip them. And that just lets you know that they were already taken care of. So no one tries to trap them in the future. They've already been fixed. They'll get flea medicine. They'll get their rabies vaccination, neutered, spayed, anything else. They do pregnant spays. So I know that I've had calls about 2 cats already that are pregnant and have had multiple litters. One of them, actually, a rescue had told me that they have some of the kittens and they're not in good health, so we definitely want to do a pregnant spay on her. So as soon as I find someone to transport her, and I know it's a very sad thing, but I mean, sometimes it's in the cat's interest. Like some of her kittens in her last litter didn't make it, so now we're questioning like her health and that kind of thing.
How do those claws feel?
I have like
I'm
bites,
gonna get
scratches, yeah, he's something. And I wish he would like make noises so you guys can hear it. He's something else. They sound like little raccoons.
And we did print out your flyer and hung it up, and I read off the flyer at the beginning.
Perfect, thank you. So that, yeah, I have that. Someone did actually finally make me a flyer, so I have that. So we're doing a Chinese auction, that's kind of the only other thing. I've just been throwing a million different fundraisers ideas out there on Facebook, and I finally had some feedback on Chinese auctions, and multiple people reach out and say, I'll donate, I'll make you a basket. So we're going to do that, and we're actually going to do it on November 30th. That way it gives everyone time. It gives me time to like put the baskets up on social media and show them. I can work with paper, whatever you guys want me to do. And then we'll have them at the Civic Center on the trap in like the trap meter release date. That way, if citizens want to come in and see what's going on, you're welcome to. You're welcome to come check it out. You're welcome to volunteer. You're welcome to just come put your name in and see what's going on. I think it'll get more people involved. I just really want people to see, like, we are putting in work. We are doing it. It's taken up a lot of time. I haven't even been home to shower. Like I said, these aren't my scrubs, so I desperately need a shower. I mean, we're putting in time. We're putting in work. I have about 3 people helping me right now, and that's kind of it. This rescue calling me today was a complete blessing. So.
Thank you for
All right.
the work, and Kat is adorable.
He's like being really well behaved right now, but I can assure you at my house he is not. he's a force to reckon with. He is very feisty.
Does anyone have anything else?
I'd like to ask Tim a question. Go ahead, Evan.
Gil Cole would say. Couple things. One is my getting fired up when it comes to things with volunteering in a community. I mean, I've about had it way past here with that. You know, and it's hard to get people involved, and I think the city is finally moving in the right direction where you've got some organizations that would have never worked together that are kind of making some things happen. And I think when you bring these things up, like about that, right or wrong, I mean, we stood here and we beat that for 45 minutes. We had a successful amphitheater committee. It's no longer. Is Monessen a better place because of that? That you finally won, that you finally beat the amphitheater down to where the committee quit.
Right,
So the thing is when I was on the amphitheater committee, it wasn't so much about making money. It wasn't a money-making venture. It wasn't really costing the city anything. We did all the work. We did all the fundraising. And the one thing about it is there was a couple that came from McKeesport when we had an oldies night. And they said to me, who's in charge here? Well, at the time, Matt was the president. You know, I was involved, highly involved. And they said to me, we can't believe this is Monessen, sir. We just wanted to tell you that. You know, you get such a bad rap. And we've had a beautiful night here this evening. It's not there. And it's no longer. There's no amphitheater committee anymore. There's no concerts every month. What did we accomplish by that? The same thing we're going to accomplish when the 5 names on that paper give up with the Parks Committee and say, you know what, we're tired of being questioned. We're tired of being, we're not above and beyond anybody, but we put our time in, okay? We helped pave the walking track. We're responsible for the lights on the walking track. You wouldn't have any of that if it wasn't for us. And to sit here time and time again and question, everything, it seems like everything that I'm involved in is a question. You know, it's time to quit. And Tony, it is time to quit. Let it go. If you can't deal with this, if your hatred is so bad towards people like me that put time in this community, maybe it's time for you to go. I'm going to be honest with you.
You know
Okay? The hatefulness is bad.
I asked a question. I asked a
You got an answer. And just like I told Ronnie Mosher, don't stand up at the mic and keep going until you stir this all up. You're doing that. And what did you gain by it? You didn't gain anything by it. All you're going to do is frustrate us. We're going to be done. Okay? But no, it's your department, Tony.
So
you should be happy.
It has nothing to do with that.
It has everything to do with it.
No, it doesn't. And that short-sightedness is what causes the problem.
You're short-sighted. I get it. I understand. You're right. Absolutely right.
Not me.
You.
So when
short-sighted.
When Captain Sue stands up here,
then here's the thing. Get a page on there where it says once a month or once edition, pick somebody from the community. I don't have a problem with that. Pick someone from the community, have a community page. It's just organization today. It's the #1 fire department, #2 fire department, whoever it might be. I doubt they're going to sit up there and say, oh, we can't do that. It ain't right. We can't put it in there. You know, it's just,
I
it's
think-
sad.
I think one of the things that we're getting at too, going back to amphitheater committee, is when we were constantly criticized. We were not a group of the city, and we were all screamed at by you at a meeting and told we should be in jail.
Yeah,
For
over a grill.
planning
Donated
community
to us.
events. So obviously, causing all of the drama with that causes people to not want to volunteer. Not only with that, just in general, it's hard to get people to volunteer in any community.
Didn't they raise the rates
Yeah.
on the amphitheater?
It's $300, which I agree that
What?
it-
So for the record, here's what happened.
$300.
To make sure that we were demolished, gone, you took the rates from $100 to whatever, what was it, 600, Matt?
It's 300.
300, so I have to pay $1,000 to get a band, and they raised the rates through the roof, so we'd have to shut down, to make it impossible for us to function.
And you can't charge admission.
You don't charge admission.
We wouldn't want to anyway. But
And regardless of my short-sightedness, I lived it, I know what happened. I sat in a meeting with him when he told me I had no right to use the name City of Monessen in the Monessen Amphitheater. Is that short-sighted, people? Really, is it?
You did that?
Yes, he did it.
I don't remember.
Yes, you did. You absolutely
The city
did.
of Madison couldn't use the name.
No.
I wasn't here where that amphitheater was put in.
So he's lying. He sat right next to me. The only empty seat was next to me. And he looked right at me and said, "What gives you the right to use the City of Monessen?"
I wasn't on council.
you were
It
at
doesn't
a
matter.
meeting.
Your pettiness started years before you got on council.
Okay, so I have an opinion. So
I
what?
have every intention.
And I have mine.
I have every intention to
Is that
have.
a problem?
Yeah.
I have every intention
So,
to have these
we're not allowed
events
to have
again
one
next
show.
year
What a
if
Wow, what a joke.
COVID stuff calms down. So
Want me to
What
tell
I
you-
wanted to ask you, Tim, please, Chief, I know where you're coming from. Have you been up to see the mess that amphitheater's been in now?
it desperately needs to.
That's what they wanted, to show it as a
Well,
failure and a waste
it
of
got
money.
all flooded, it was never cut.
Again,
It
it's the part.
was very,
The gutters need cleaning.
it's very disgusting what's been happening to the parks in the last 6 years.
You see what you're saying, Mr. Hep? The problem is, like I said 6 or 7 months ago, over there is the problem. That's part of the biggest problem. Let me make my point. You see, if there's something that you need to know, you know where this man's office is right there. You always wait until city council has a meeting and you nitpick and you bring it up. You and Ron Mosier both.
No, I sent emails.
Both of you need
I
to
sent
stop
emails.
it. This is why nobody
I
can
sent
get along
emails.
down here.
I sent
Nobody
emails.
can get along down here because of your attitude.
I sent emails.
You got a bad attitude, mister.
I got sent
You and
emails.
Ron Mosier got bad attitudes. There was no reason for this man to bring up this nonsense that he brought up tonight. And you continue to do the same thing. You too and Ron Mosier.
Is he
And
a
if he was
taxpayer?
here, I'd tell him the same thing.
Is he a taxpayer?
Is he what?
Is he a taxpayer?
So what?
Then,
So am I.
well, then you have two differences of opinion.
But you see, this is what you don't understand, hardhead. I'm trying to explain something to you, knothead, and you don't understand it.
Well, what do you pretend?
This is why we can't get along, sir. Tell him, Mo, tell him.
You've been told you just don't like the answer.
That's what it is. You don't like to be told anything. It's something you don't want to answer to.
right.
I don't know nothing about it. I don't know
One last
Brickhead.
thing, because I want it off my chest, okay? I am a taxpayer, and I am an employee, okay? Do I have my right to voice my opinion with Tony because he's a council person?
Absolutely.
Absolutely I do.
Absolutely.
Okay? Will there be retribution someday? Probably, okay? We all know this. I've been here, I've worked here for 25 years. I've dealt with 5 different mayors, countless dozens of council people, okay? And I've volunteered an awful lot of my life to this community, and I never asked for nothing, okay? But what I will ask for tonight is for this council to have the back of any volunteer organization that wants to do good in this community. You have to, because if we don't, we're done. You need to quit nitpicking with these groups, okay? What am I getting away with? It's like, it's insulting to me, okay, that these funds are coming in. What do you think? I'm putting it in my bank account? It's assaulting to me. It's nonsense, you know, and every time that something comes up in this community, you beat it down until they don't want to volunteer. That's why you have no one. You know,
Because you know, I'm out there working
you're out
just
there
like.
trying to do good in that park, and you can't get anyone to help you.
Yeah, right, you're
Why?
volunteering.
Why can't you?
But you get people, like you said, things happen, but, I'm with everyone. I think the groups that you have working, you gotta applaud them, you gotta give them what they need to work. And they say, fix it so that it's not an issue. If there's someone else that we wanna, put out that, hey, they need help with this, let's make it something where, we can advertise for all the groups. That's not an issue, one group, but let's advertise for people who are doing something, like we said, it has to be geared towards the city of Monessen to help the city of Monessen, like your group is. So if there's another group that's doing something for the city of Monessen, put it in there so the advertisement gets out.
Obviously, we need to make sure that the groups are doing
Right,
what they need to do.
right.
But, again, we shouldn't nitpick them to the point where they don't want to participate in the city, because that's what's been happening.
Well, you're not gonna, here's the thing. We've been doing this for a long time. Dr. Duda's been doing this for what, 30 years, okay? He's put more money than you can imagine into these parks. Again, he don't ask for anything. But the thing is, we're not gonna quit. This organization's not gonna quit. When he's done, we'll still be here, okay? You're cutting through here. We're here for the long haul. And I've said that about my life the whole time. You guys cut through here. You might be here 4 years, okay? And you're out because of actions like this tonight, okay? And I'll still be here. My groups will still be here. I'll still be in the fire department because I don't do it for you. I do it for the citizens of this town, okay? Just remember that. So you can have your say up there for your 4 years, because you're going to be out. With actions like tonight, this town don't need you, okay? I guarantee you, Tony, this town, would you remember the comment you made to me walking to your car earlier this year, I think it was? Or maybe it was the end of last year. What'd you say to me? When I followed you to your car, I said, can I get a word with you, Tony? You don't, I know your amnesia's deep, Tony, okay? I forget nothing. You said, I'm not from here, and it really doesn't matter. That's what you said to me walking across that street. And you know what you should do, Tony? Don't be from here.
No. And that's also coming, okay, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna get into it.
The question I wanted to ask you was that could we, at the next work session, set some guidelines so that it would only be allowed organizations that are working for the benefit of the city of Monessen?
Yeah, I mean, there's
like,
a
stuff like softball leagues, or not
there's a
softball
way.
leagues, but like rec league, that kind of stuff, when they're going to do, say they're going to have tryouts or sign-ups or whatever. Can we make sure that it is? This way we don't have to worry about someone trying to put an advertisement in here for a political ad.
There's a way to do it where you can set guidelines where they have to have
Could you
some
make
sort
sure
of
that
nexus
you
with
have
the
something
city.
for us at the next work
We can,
session?
yeah, we can
Thank
do
you.
that for you guys too.
That was my whole point of bringing this up, that there needed to be some guidelines, because not
Why did you
me,
say that?
somebody is going to put,
Why did you say it?
somebody is going to put something in there that's really gonna tee off some people, and you're gonna say, you can't do that, and we're gonna have a massive lawsuit of a First Amendment right. That was my whole point.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
That was my whole point. Jim knew my point.
Matt.
You know exactly my point.
Is there anything else from anyone that's productive?
I will
Hit the
say
hammer, man.
I really appreciate the support that I'm getting from the city in the Monessen TNR, and we really need to bring more positivity to the city. And I will say that it is very hard. I've called multiple people that are actually helping me, crying like I'm done, I'm over, because I'm putting in a lot of hours and a lot of time of my own on top of the work schedule. It is hard to get people to volunteer, so we really need to not give up, keep pushing. Appreciate everyone that's doing everything that they're doing. My first donation was from our solicitor, so I really appreciate that. I thank you for that. I really appreciate, he was the very first donor for the GoFundMe, and I have had four since then. Jessica Balco, Rochelle Babcock, and Alex Matta, and that was the donations for the GoFundMe. Amber Altemeyer sponsored a cat. Gianna Cherokee and Lisa Cherokee, they actually took the other cat for the rabies and pitched in on that. So I appreciate, but that's about what I'm working with. Jessica Cuchalone has offered to help in Carly Rock, but that is all I have. So anybody else, please. I appreciate everything. I can't do it on my own. Please help.
I'm not a perfect human, I lied. One thing on a positive note, and something you can't take advantage of, or underestimate. The fire departments have been doing really good. I mean, working together, training together, and it shows. The last fire on Chestnut, I think it was under control in 18 minutes, working fire. That's remarkable. Okay, that's where you want to be. One thing I want to point out, and for you, Matt, maybe if there's something we could do down the road. That night, the two police officers that were on duty was Aaron Thompson, Lieutenant Thompson, and Alan Hretz, Officer Hretz. Both went above and beyond. I mean, it was a chaotic scene. I went from sleeping to on scene in about 3 minutes and thrown into the middle of chaos with dogs that were unhappy and biting their owners. And the police went above and beyond. While our guys were getting their SCBAs on, they're pulling lines to the door. They had the lines already to the door, ready to go. And those things you can never, I mean, you can't, I know when it comes crunch time, the police seem like they cost a lot of money, but you can't replace that. The prize that is to have the full-time police department, unbelievable, priceless. But that night it really showed.
How about when you went out and got donations to take to them?
Yeah, I went out and took donations to the family because the family has nothing. If there's anybody that wants to get gift cards or something, they have nothing. They really want to stay here. They want to redo that home. They had no fire insurance. Okay? They had to give up the fire insurance to pay other bills. And I really feel for them. And she was in bad shape. She was in intensive care with inhalation burns down Pittsburgh. And so I took them some gift cards and stuff, and they were just elated. But we really need to try to keep as many families here as we can in Monessen. And the policeman's action that night, Matt, I really think really made a big difference. And we were able to get it under control in 18 minutes. And that's, Ike, you know, you've been in a long time. That's pretty impressive. And so that's one thing. The other thing is we had a pretty bad grill fire on Ontario the other day. And again, Chris Gray jumps out of the car, dumps 2 extinguishers on it. You can't replace that. I mean, that's, to have a full-time police force on the road all the time is priceless. I just wanted to point that out because my guys do a good job, but your department, Alan Hretz, tonight on Chestnut should be commended. I mean, that's just my opinion.
I wasn't even aware of that, so thank you for telling me. They need to be. All right. Make a motion to adjourn at 20 after 9 p.m.